Hello, welcome to the February edition of the Hopcast Half Pint. I'm James.
And I'm Adam.
We've got 3 beers. We've not got so much to talk about. It's just going to be a bit of a ramble, this one, isn't it? We're just going to have a bit of a chat and just see how we find it. We're recording for the first time in our fancy new studio here at Rebel Base Media, which is where I work, where I'm based, which looks really good. So if you are watching the video version of this, then hello, welcome to the studio. We've got the on-air light, which you can't see on the video, but it looks very, very fancy. Let's get straight on with a beer. I've brought 2, you've brought 1. I'm going to suggest that we start with one of mine and. Tell you what, let's go with this. So this is a new beer from Thornbridge, which they've done in collaboration with Planet Rock. It's called Skull Rocker. It's been around for 2 or 3 weeks. I've not tried it yet. Have you?
I have tried it, yeah.
You have tried it?
I have tried it, yeah.
And what did you think to it?
I enjoyed it, yeah.
Okay.
It's very easy. Well, you'll find out in a minute, but it's...
was it 4.5? 4.8%.
Like American Pale sort of style, yeah.
Yeah, so it's fairly 4.8 these days is pretty light, isn't it?
It is these days, yeah.
There you go. Yep. It's got quite a kind of a Thornbridgey smell to it.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Yeah, it's a Planet Roxy TV channel, is it?
Yeah,
initially
it's like a media brand, isn't it? Because they've got there's a Planet Rock radio station as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Who, if you've never listened to Planet Rock radio, you can probably guess what the voiceover guy sounds like. You think what you'd expect it to sound like? It's just going, "This is Planet Rock."
I imagine he looks like the guy on the bottle.
It's
kind of like slightly hipstery kind of bearded skull with Thornbridge logos in its skull. Eyeball sockets.
There's something kind of significant in the fact that it's very rare for Thornbridge to deviate from their normal kind of.
You wouldn't know. You would never know if you saw it on a shelf.
No,
the logo is literally 2 inches. 2 inches, 2 millimeters. Sorry, 2 millimeters.
Yeah, it's a tiny little Thornbridge thing, which is rare for them because they're obviously they're quite keen on that kind of regularity when it comes to the branding. So nice beer actually. It is light. It does have plenty of taste. There's plenty of hops going on there. I don't know if it tells us much about what we've got in here from a hops point of view. We've got Amarillo, Chinook, Cascade, and Columbus. Lots of C's.
Yeah, you usually can't go wrong with the C.
It's true that. In fact, there's tons more. I'm trying to think what other you've got. Citra.
Centennial.
Centennial. Yeah, there's loads of hops that begin with.
Chinook. Did you say Chinook?
Chinook, Chinook is in that one.
Sometimes some people think Simcoe has, but that's an S.
Oh, well, there we go. Nice beer. I'm enjoying this. Very much.
Yeah, I reckon that would be a good kind of summer beer. Actually, it's under 5%. It's kind of really quaffable. I'm trying to think of something it's similar to really, but even though it's not a complicated beer. It's a really easy beer. I'm struggling to find something that is quite like that because people seem to go one or the other now. It's like soupy, strong, really light. It is a nice modern sort of style beer.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a fusion kind of thing going on. It's got a few different.
I suppose if I were going to say it's like a Thornbridge beer, I would go close to like a keg Chiron, something similar to that.
Yeah, that's quite good. I think that's probably what I kind of meant by it having a kind of a Thornbridgey sort of smell to it.
Which has made a comeback. It disappeared for a long time. It's come back on cask recently, Thornbridge Chiron. So if you did like that beer, then you might find it in one of the local pubs.
That's good. Beer talk then. I've not really. I've got to confess. I don't know what's been going on. I've been well out of the loop.
We've all been individually quite busy, haven't we?
Yeah,
we've really had to stretch to get this one squeezed in as busy schedules this month. But
we have.
Do you want to let anybody down?
Well, we did the February kind of main Hopcast a bit later than normal to take account of it being the Valentine special, which kind of meant that it kind of moves everything around. And then it's it's less than a week until we actually record the next main one, which is earlier than usual, which is in readiness for Sheffield Beer Week. So obviously we'll be talking a lot more about that in the main March Hopcast. But have you made any plans as of yet for Sheffield Beer Week?
Apart from Indie Beer Feast, which I'm going to Saturday afternoon session, if anyone wants to say hello. Might even treat myself and wear a Hopcast t-shirt. So.
Well, I was planning the same, but I'm going Saturday evening, as is our usual pattern. I'm at football during the day, so I'll be going to the evening one.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Really had a good time. Maybe it's 2 days this time, isn't it? So
it is, yeah.
Obviously Fridays. It's Friday. It's Friday like it's Saturday, Sunday, really, isn't it? Is it Friday that's the kind of industry day? I can't remember.
No, it's Friday and Saturday are the two days.
Okay.
So there's 2 sessions on Friday, 2 sessions on Saturday. I think one of the sessions on Friday is kind of being opened up for kind of trade and things like that. You kind of guess that kind of the Friday daytime session, as is usually the case with these things, is least busy and is a little bit more tradey. People can get away with classing it as being kind of working hours, which. We might have had a chance of getting away with that, but I'm in Newcastle for a conference, so it's a bit of a rush for me to get back for the
weird
having Saturday.
I know it's over a few days, so you do get a chance to go a weekend, but like a work day beer festival seems a bit of a gamble, really, from a kind of commercial point of view. How many people do you want to take some time off for that when they can sneak in a weekend?
See, the other option here is, would you rather do that on like a Friday evening? Or would you rather do a Sunday knowing you've got work on the Monday? All the time this thing at the back of your head's just saying, like, better not drink that next one.
I'm not a person who tends to kind of avoid things knowing I'm working next day. And following on from that, I was just going to say about last Hopcast is that's probably the biggest headache I've had for a while after a main Hopcast, Sean.
Yeah, they're all quite big. They were mainly big cans, weren't they?
Big cans. I don't think anything were under 6%.
No. And Sean, obviously, he was driving, so he had like a thimble of each beer.
Feeds us a little bit.
So yeah, we put away a fair old bit of beer.
Yeah, because sometimes you can get away with maybe 1 can between everyone, but I think because he brings them, I think I got a little greedy and just cracked the other ones open, and that's where trouble happens.
It's your own fault then.
It's like ordering.
You deserve everything.
It is like ordering that last orders pint when you don't need it. You don't really want it, but your body just goes, shit, bell's gone.
Yep.
And you get it anyway.
Get it down you. Best way. For the second beer, I'm going to suggest that we use my other beer that I've brought. This is not a new beer by any stretch of the imagination. I've been influenced by the bizarre February heatwave that we've been experiencing in deciding to bring along a fruit beer. It's one of the Samuel Smith organic fruit beers. There's a few in the range, actually. You've got strawberry, apricot. I think there's a raspberry. There might be another couple, but anyway, this is the cherry one, which I've not had before.
I don't think I've had any of them. I do hear good things, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you see, I've got this thing. I quite like cherries, and I quite like some cherry flavoured things, but sometimes cherry flavoured things can turn a little bit tart and taste a little bit, just a bit cloying, not very nice.
I had some actual cherries yesterday. I was saying to someone that cherry flavouring seldom tastes like actual cherries. I don't think cherries have that as a strong a cherry flavour as cherry flavouring does.
Have a sniff of that before we pour it. That's like pure cherry Bakewell smell. That.
They're not. Yeah, that smells. It does smell like cherry Bakewell. Yeah.
I've not had this, but I've had quite a few in the range, and find them actually all the many and varied fancy fruit beers and fruit sours and stuff that are done. I go back to these time and time again because they're just brilliant fruit beers. They don't particularly taste of beer, to be honest. It's just like having a bit of a fruit juice with some alcohol in, but they are really, really well done.
But remember the episode that you missed? It would have been the November episode, and we did a winter one. Remember Sean talking about there's a brewery who do it for them, the fruit beers. I'm not sure it's one that they do.
They're not doing it themselves.
That could be wrong. So here we go.
Oh, crikey. That is pure cherry.
So it's 5.1% as well, so it's quite strong.
I think they're all 5.1% the fruit ones that they do.
Oh god, that's really fruity.
It has organic cherry concentrate in it. They're all organic as well, the fruit ones. I don't know if you mentioned that. Organic cherry concentrate, organic cherry extract. And that seems to be it. It's only got those 2 elements of cherry, but it really does carry its flavour brilliantly. They're just really well done fruit beers. Really are.
Do you ever frequent any Samuel Smith's pubs?
There's one in London that I went to before a Wednesday game a couple of years back, which was really odd. It was all kind of very compartmental, and you had to get to the toilet. You had to walk through people's like private booths where they were doing. It was very, very strange, but probably the cheapest pub in London, to be fair. I know I wasn't on it when I listened back to it. I found it quite funny listening to you guys talking about Sam Smith's pubs, and kind of like just the random way that it operates as a company, which I know is quite well known through the beer world, and just a little bit strange, yeah.
So I think the Brown Bear, if anybody's in the middle of town next to Head of Steam, and then I know there's a few who's been scattered around that have closed, like the one up at Uti Bridge was closed, and I'm not sure the one up at Grannyside where that's one that's closed as well.
The Brown Bear always seems to be busy.
Always
seems to have people
we
in.
do.
Just tends to be the same people.
Yeah, it's an odd clientele. It's a bad clientele. It's just a really very eclectic. And if we ever have like a work night out, we often go to Head of Steam just because it's got that sort of, it's big enough to cover everybody. But we always have this little thing where we a few of us always sneak off to see if we can sneak off and back to the Brown Bear for a quick pint and back before anybody realises. Take a quick photo and then come back.
I don't know if it's because I associate it with like a certain point of a night out or something, but in my head I see the Brown Bear and the Washington as being just exactly the same. When you walk in them, just bar in the middle and you go on one side or you go on the other side. I don't know if it is or it isn't. It's just in my mind they're identical.
Well, they do have that kind of two clear sides, but it cuts down the middle at the entrance. It's probably dates back to the old tap room, smoke room thing. It's funny you mentioned though Washington, actually. The pub I used to go to a lot, probably before I was really into like real ale and things. And then I've just never been in for years. And me and my friend were on the way to football on Tuesday night, and he said like, "Let's go to Washington." But bearing in mind it was like probably 4:30. I went, I don't think it's gonna be open. But I did actually peer through the window, and I was actually pleasantly surprised on their like kind of cask offering.
It's always good.
So
I think they always have moonshine on.
Yeah, they'll probably on the roadside of it. There were probably 4 or 5 different cask beers on, which surprised me because I think when I used to go back, it was kind of moonshine, and then you were kind of onto your kind of Grolsch and things like that. Back in the day when Grolsch was a popular, so
I think
my age.
I mean, I do still go in the Washington quite a bit, and it's the kind of pub that you end up in. You're not sober when you go to the Washington. Is what I'm trying to get at here. It's a certain time of night kind of bar that just even when you're having a night out and you're just like, oh, I'm so tired, I want to go home, and then suddenly this idea comes in your head, just going, oh, the Washington might be fun at this time of night, and that's it. Then that's the rest of the night's gone.
The Washington might be the only
but
place.
A couple of the cask offerings are pretty plain. They're not particularly
it's not
exciting.
adventurous.
They're a bit standard, but they've upped the game in terms of keg stuff as well.
Oh, cool.
They had Club Tropicana on last time I was in, and the suggestion was that was one of their regular keg offerings now, because it was on all the boards and not just like written on. It was like printed on stuff. So you kind of get the impression that they're trying to cater for kind of a decent beer market.
Talking other places, yesterday I went to Theatre Deli. I don't know if you know where that is. It's in the bit that's next to the old Staples building.
Yeah, it's on that little. It's on the roundabout, isn't it?
So I went to something there at tea time, like a children's kind of focus thing. But I didn't realise they had a full set up kind of bar operation with like Heathen on, and they had a Keller like a Pilsner that I've not seen before. A few other different beers. I think they had like Beavertown and stuff. It's like there's lots of. It was really good. It was a nice venue. Lots of kind of cool little quick things on. Lots of quite cheap, but I never considered it to be somewhere that might be quite decent to go and pop in for a drink.
Never even have thought about it.
No.
I wouldn't even know what it is, to be honest. I've gone past it loads of times. It's a place you drive past a lot. I've walked past it quite a lot. Wouldn't have known what it is.
Everybody knows where Staples was. I know the office is called Office something now. It's like next door to that. I think it's been a gym and it's been a
office factory or something.
Yeah. It's on that corner.
Warehouse.
Yeah. So I didn't have anything because it was 5 o'clock and it was like a kids thing. But some people did. Some people drinking the wine. But I'm thinking, cool. If I do come back here, I know there's something decent to drink, which is cool.
It's good. Yeah, very good. Do you want to crack open your beer?
Yeah. So I've brought Turning Point, which I've never had in any sort of small package before. But I've been very, very complimentary of all their stuff. This is Swerve Driver IPA, which is a Centennial, Amarillo, and Mosaic. So again, a couple of all the good hops. Monstrously dry hopped IPA, pale as the moon with layers of tropical fruit, lemon zest and pine from a triple dry hop charge of Centennial, Amarillo. So not mincing the words there, are they?
That sounds good. Whereabouts are they from?
Are they from? They're not far away. Have a look. Oh, York. I knew they were kind of. In the vicinity. So this is going to have a slight, probably cherry.
Yeah, it's going to be slightly.
Yeah. I did pick something else up until I saw it, and I pretty much whipped the can out of Sean's hand and said, "Decided I'm having this instead."
So it's 6%. It pours with a bit of haziness there.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really good. But you don't see that much of theirs sort of kind of. I don't know whether it's a new thing they're doing or not. I mean, I think they went to Indie Beer Feast last year. I'm not sure if they're there again this year. And also, I think at the Sumfest, I think they had one of probably my favourite beer they had there. That the Rising Sun. It was one of their beers. I can't remember its name, but yeah, it's nice. And the 440 cans, nice.
It's lovely can design.
Design.
Very nice. It's taking my mouth a little bit just to adjust from cherry
to,
because it is very kind of piney. It's got a real kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Resinous.
It kind of looks like
quite a contrast from one to the other.
Yeah, it's got that sort of New England like look, but actually it's got a really nice bitterness to it.
Yeah, you're not going to see anything that's through that. It's very hazy.
So talking to can design, I got a little bit of a gift last week, and I thought I'd give them a mention because they didn't come to me; I went to them. So
okay.
So if anybody likes kind of graphic design and likes collecting stuff, maybe they use Untapped. I got a book from a local company called Craft Booked. Yeah, go grab it. Yeah. So it's created by a Sheffield design agency called Dust Collective, which I like that name. It's quite cool. And they created this kind of almost like stamp collecting, but for beer labels. So for anybody who's watching the video, it's a nice big book. It's on really good stock. I think this stock actually, the cover is actually like beer mat stock. It's quite cool. So it's really nicely designed.
It's quite a distinct sort of cardboard, isn't it?
You've not seen these, but I think if you follow them on Instagram, they're called Craft Booked. They look a lot smaller on their pictures, but it's actually like it's a big
yeah,
book,
no, it is. Yeah, I thought I've seen a photo of it that obviously you sent me.
It looks small, doesn't it?
It looked like it was going to be like an A5 kind of thing, and
so you can peel your labels off. I think it apparently was inspired by a couple of guys who work there, frequent bar stewards, and I think they got the idea because they've started like a big wall of beer labels, and I think they went actually it might be quite a cool idea.
Okay,
so you get to stick them in. It suggests you do one sheet per thing, but I've been doing kind of. I've been doing multiple sheets. But, I'm a big fan. I'm a graphic design for a job, and I really kind of love can design. I think it's it's a really big thing these days. I think it just kind of makes people pop out on the shelf. But yes, if you like kind of collecting stuff, if you Google them or Craftbook, they're on Instagram, craftbook.co. Get yourself on them and get 40 or so in there, or double that if you want to put 2 on a page. But cheers for that, guys, and then I'll do my best to try and fill that as soon as possible.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Put that one on next. So,
we've got three very different beers in the space of this kind of 20 minutes, and from a very light, very the word I'm looking for, kind of easy to drink, fairly sessionable 4.8 American Pale. To a quite tart, actually, cherry fruit beer. I only realised how tart it was when I started drinking something else afterwards. And it's still in the back of my throat.
It's on the very fruity side of fruit beers. It's not like a hint of fruit. That's kind of like if you like a double shot of in your cordial kind of.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. To a very kind of modern tasting, as we say, very kind of piney, very. Kind of aggressively dry hopped IPA. All very good beers in their own Right, that Turning Point's got to be my favourite.
Oh, it's great, yeah.
Really good.
It's bang in the middle of kind of what you want, because I always crave a bit of both sides of the the fence in terms of these American style ones. This is just perfect, really. It probably tastes its strength, 6%, but because it's so drinkable, it's probably a bit of a danger beer.
Yeah, probably is. You're probably right there.
Yeah. So yeah, big fan, and check the Indie Beer Feast list, because I know they went last year. I've got a feeling they could be on the list this year as one of the breweries.
If we were any good at our jobs, we'd actually.
We would, but I wasn't really thinking about it at the time. But yeah, but in terms of the Indie Beer Feast, I don't know if I mentioned, but the list is up there for all the breweries that are appearing. So give it a good scan. There's loads there. So like I said before, they all have their individual bars. So you got a chance to talk to the breweries and stuff. So this is a little bit different. If you've not been to somewhere like Indie Man, it's probably getting a little more local kind of smaller scale experience. So
worth mentioning, both Saturday sessions sold out. So if you want to go, you are going to have to take a bit of time off on Friday, or go Friday evening. Or I think there are very, very limited numbers available on the door. So like you need to be there half an hour before the session starts and be first in the queue if you want to get. I think there's 20 tickets for each session that are on the door. So they will go within minutes, really. So yeah, and loads of other stuff happening for Sheffield Beer Week. It's been splashed all over the internet. There's a guide as well that's available to pick up from any reputable kind of beer outlet or anything like that. And obviously we've got our special episode next week. Venue still TBC.
Yeah,
possibly right where we're stood right now. It should be a cracking week. Actually, I'm looking forward to Beer Week.
Yeah, it should be really good.
We can replicate the weather of this week.
That'd be nice.
Then that'd be great.
It's there's so much going off. It's because Sheffield's goods pubs are not all kind of centred around the Sheffield city centre.
Yeah.
You probably do have to kind of plan ahead a bit and maybe pick and choose a few things. It's not something you can kind of probably get to everything.
What I think will be quite good will be the Southwest Beer Takeover at Bar Stewards, where they've got stuff from some breweries that you just don't get that much up here. So they've got some Daya stuff on. Yeah. Daya is kind of notoriously difficult to get in the north of England.
Yeah, you don't get much, do you?
No, well, they don't use any kind of normal outlet, so you can't. Your beer shops just can't get hold of it. You've got to buy it kind of direct, so it's particularly difficult to get. So an opportunity there if you've never had a beer from Daya before, it's worth going along and checking them out. They are stunningly good beers.
We had a Locker Poly beer, one of these half pints, which we really enjoyed, and I think they've got a takeover by them as well. Which is, I think they're Wales, aren't they? But lots of good stuff going on. Lots of stuff in the Thornbridge pubs. Just go and check out what they're doing. There's plenty of things in all their pubs.
There's stuff everywhere, isn't there? There's just such good stuff going on, and it's like
especially to pick up the magazine, like you said. But
it kind of turns into like it's a bit like Tramlines Weekend when you go through and you're like, I want to see them, and I want to see them, and I want to see them. It's like can't get from there to there in that time, and they're on at exactly the same time, so you've just got to pick one. So great job to. Kudos to Jules and all her kind of team that have helped make that happen, and looking forward to it. And that's going to wrap us up then for the February Half Pint. You'll hear our voices again probably sooner than you particularly want to, because we're back next week with the full edition, our Beer Week special, where we've not discussed this, but I'm going to guess that we're going to be trying out some of the best beers that Sheffield has to offer in 2019. So, we'll speak to you then.
Speak to you next week.